Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 16th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Israel has started its ground operation in Gaza City.
I'm Simone Gavros here in downtown Hamilton. The city has unanimously approved a plan to revamp the transit system. I'll have those details coming up.
Got him with the splitter again.
And Trey Savage sets a Blue Jays record with his major league debut.
Yeah, the Blue Jays had their game going last night. Brian Wood's got his game going this morning.
Yes.
I do.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
The game is going to continue for a while. The game we had yesterday, we'll have it again today. We'll have it again tomorrow. It's going to continue.
It's just so nice out.
It is so nice.
It really is. You were out for a walk last night. It's absolutely beautiful during the day. The evenings are nice and calm, although we do have some fog patches reported around the area this morning. So do take care, particularly in outlying areas. But yeah, another sunny day today. Yesterday in the sun, we got to 23. Today in the sun, we'll get to 24 degrees, even warmer. As we continue through tomorrow into Thursday, then it's going to cool off a little bit, but we'll still hang on to a fair bit of sunshine. Temperature right now, same as we were yesterday morning at this time. We're sitting at 15 degrees, but as I said, we do have a little bit of fog, and we'll talk about all of that coming up. Traffic this morning, nothing I can show you. This is the 403 and Waterdown Road camera. That's our exclusive camera. It's doing fine. It's getting a little bit busy already, but the construction right around King is pretty much coming to an end now. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. And again, we're doing okay here at the Red Hill Creek camera. Toronto bound towards us. Top of the Skyway, same thing, looks pretty good. We'll flip ahead to Bronte Road, no problems. The situation that we have at the moment is on the 403 heading eastbound, coming out of out of Brantford, heading to Ancaster, right around 52. We have a collision reported there, but we don't have a camera. We'll keep our eyes, well, at least we'll continue to monitor that coming up. And we'll look at traffic and the forecast in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Israel has begun its ground offensive in Gaza City, while the UN Human Rights Commission says Israel is committing genocide.
We've produced reports in the last 2 years on what happened in the first 3 months. The saturation bombing campaign, the continuing slaughter, the destruction of the healthcare facilities, the destruction of educational facilities, sex and gender-based violence, destruction of cultural properties, including mosques, churches, archaeological sites, universities, libraries, museums. We've done all that. And it's that investigation and those conclusions that enable us to say that these were genocidal acts, that they were committed intentionally.
Now, this comes as Israel's defense minister says Gaza is burning after heavy strikes targeted Gaza City. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio believes there is a very short window of time for a deal to happen between Israel and Hamas. Rubio and Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu said Monday the only way to end the conflict in Gaza is through the elimination of Hamas and the release of the remaining 48 hostages, around 20 of whom are believed to be alive.
Closer to home, no one was hurt when a small plane made a crash landing at a high school in Toronto. The single-engine plane landed nose down last night near a sports field at Monarch Park Collegiate Institute. There were 3 people in the plane. All of them got out safely, and no one on the ground was injured. The reason for the crash landing still under investigation.
Men who wrote some of Canada's best-loved children's stories can no longer write or even read.
The Paper Bag Princess. There was a princess named Elizabeth.
That's Robert Munch reading The Paper Bag Princess to his daughter and granddaughter with the publishing company that picked up his first story in the late 1970s. Munch, who also wrote Love You Forever, has revealed in a New York Times article that he has dementia and Parkinson's disease. Shortly after his diagnosis, he applied for and was approved for medical assistance in dying. Munch says he applied for MAID after watching his brother die slowly from Lou Gehrig's disease.
Hamilton councillors have voted unanimously in favor of a plan to revamp the city's transit system over the next 7 years. Simone Gavros has more now from the bus terminal in downtown Hamilton. Good morning.
Good morning, Annette. The plan is called HSR Next, and this was approved yesterday in the GIC meeting with councillors. Now, the plan is expected to start being rolled out next year in 2026, and it's also expected to be working in conjunction with the LRT. There's a number of moving components, a part of this plan that was all outlined in the report yesterday. This includes increasing transit service hours by about 55% and adding 450 new full-time employees over the next 7 years. The report presented to councillors outlines the need for 79 new buses and bus hubs or shelters to make this all possible. Now, the plan will cost an additional $59 million, and that's an estimated impact of about 4.6% on the tax levy. This all comes at a time when the city is working out the budget for next year, which already has a projected tax increase between over 6% and nearly 9%. Now, there are a lot of more details that are outlined in this plan that I will be touching on throughout the morning, but I'll also be reaching out to the HSR Union President, Eric Tuck, for more details about this 7-year plan as well. For now, things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much. Now to financial planning. The latest inflation numbers are due out later this morning. Economists polled by Reuters expect the annual inflation rate last month rose to 2% from 1.7% in July. Financial markets largely expect that as a result, Canada's central bank will cut its key lending rate by a quarter point tomorrow to 2.5%. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre clashed over deficits and rising costs as Parliament resumed.
You have a Liberal Prime Minister breaking promises, making excuses, running massive deficits with costs, crime, and chaos.
We are building the strongest economy throughout the worst crisis in our history.
The government outlined its priorities to curb crime, build housing, and deal with U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs war.
Actions taken by the United States have not simply created a transformation of the global trading system. It is a rupture, and Canada will respond by diversifying its trade.
Prime Minister has promised an austerity budget expected next month, and that raises fears of service cutbacks. However, with the Liberals' minority government, some opposition MPs are waiting to see the budget to decide if they will keep the government in power. Well, a rural part of Niagara region is going to play host to tens of thousands of people for the next few days. The International Plowing Match starts this morning at the West Niagara Fairgrounds in Grassy. The match and Rural Expo are hosted by different communities each year. This is the first time in nearly a century that it's been in Niagara. It's for farmers to see the latest in equipment and for non-farmers to learn more about where our food comes from. This video is from last year's Plowing Match. Plowing is the highlight of the 5-day event with horses and new equipment showing traditional and modern ways to turn over the soil. The Plowing Match and Rural Expo wraps up on Saturday.
Time for Sportsline. The Blue Jays picked up their 5th straight win last night, and they've opened a 5-game lead atop the AL East.
The pitch from Kelly. Base hit into left field. And Ernie Clement is rounding third and on his way in to score the go-ahead run.
George Springer broke a 1-all tie with an RBI single in the 11th inning as Toronto topped Tampa Bay 2-1. The big story of the night, however, was Jays starter Trey Yesavage, who struck out 9 batters through 5 innings to set a Toronto record for a major league debut. The 22-year-old right-hander was taken 20th overall in last year's amateur draft, allowed 1 run on 3 hits and walked 2, and threw 49 of his 69 pitches for strikes. The Rays struck out 18 times last night, their most since 2019. With the win, Toronto improved to 10-4 in extra inning games. Justin Herbert tossed 2 touchdowns, including a 60-yarder to Quentin Johnston just before halftime to lead the Chargers to a 20-9 win over the Raiders. LA's defense intercepted Las Vegas quarterback Geno Smith 3 times and spoiled head coach Pete Carroll's 74th birthday yesterday. The win puts the Bolts atop the AFC West at 2-0. There was much more drama in the first game of last night's twin bill.
Hot in motion. They are going to run it. And No signal yet. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Baker Mayfield led an 11-play, 80-yard drive capped by Rachaad White's 2-yard touchdown run with 6 seconds left as the Buccaneers rallied past the Texans 20-19. Houston took a 19-14 lead on a 25-yard TD run by Nick Chubb with 2:10 left in the game. Houston went for 2, but quarterback C.J. Stroud was sacked. The Bucs improving to 2-0, the Texans falling to 0-2. Hamilton Tiger Cats have dropped episode 2 of the Made in the Hammer docuseries.
I like winners, and I do like guys that have had experience of turning things around.
The beautiful thing about football is that every week you have the opportunity to write a new script.
It's one snap at a time. One snap, that's the only play that matters. And our guys are sold in and bought in on it.
Bringing the energy, bringing the intensity, coming out for our fans, playing, hard-nosed, steel-challenged football.
Intercepted! It's Stavros Katsantonis, and the Tiger Cats keep it rolling.
The second of 4 episodes is called Road Warriors and chronicles Hamilton's impressive performance over 6 games through July and early August. Receiver Kenny Lawler, safety Stavros Katsantonis, linebacker Reggie Stubblefield, and special teams coordinator Dennis McKnight, who, by the way, steals the spotlight at times, are all profiled. You can watch Made in the Hammer on ticats.ca and the team's YouTube channel. Canadian footy fans are getting ready for an exciting night in Vancouver and Ottawa. Forge FC visiting the Vancouver Whitecaps tonight in the second leg of their Canadian Championship semifinal. The two teams played to a 2-2 draw in Hamilton last month. The winner will advance to the Canadian Championship final on October 1st against the winner of the other semi between Atletico Ottawa and Vancouver FC. And Hall of Fame goaltender Eddie Giacomin has passed away at the age of 86. The Sudbury native played 610 games in the NHL from 1965 to 78 and backstopped the Rangers for a decade before closing out his career in Detroit. Giacomin was a 6-time All-Star and won the Vezina Trophy as the league's top goalie in 1971.
Okay, already 12 minutes after 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. We've got the 16th morning of September going here. We're looking at traffic. First of all, 403 Waterdown Road behind me there. It's busy coming out of Hamilton toward Burlington. It's just a bit of volume picking up. The other side, no problems whatsoever. It's going to St. Catharines. We'll start there. Nothing at the QEW in Martindale. We'll check the top of the Skyway again. Oh, yeah, already getting busy. Toronto bound towards us, coming across the Skyway Bridge. We'll flip ahead to Bronte Road. And then to Lorne Park, where it's getting busy, heading toward Mississauga Road. So we're already starting to get some volume here this morning. 403 at Burnham Thorpe, no problems up from the Ford plant. The only situation we have right now is the 403 heading toward Ancaster out of Brantford. Right around Highway 52, we have a collision there. Okay, temperature this morning. Well, we've just fallen a couple of degrees getting here at 6 o'clock now. So 13 degrees is our temp. The humidity, again, right up there. There are some fog patches around. The winds are fairly light from the north-northeast. For school today, 24 degrees. What a beautiful day in the sunshine. High UV index, a little bit of a northeasterly breeze, and it'll feel like about 27 for the day today. Low risk air quality for the day today, so no problems right there. Ridge of high pressure hanging on just to the east of us, so that's going to continue to give us some sunshine for the next number of days. Low off to the west, low off to the southeast. Neither one really going to bother us. We're going to get a cold front dropping its way across us on Thursday, which is going to dip our temperatures a bit as we head toward the weekend. But until then, beautiful. So 24 for Hamilton, 25, 26, 27 for other areas around the Horseshoe, and lovely blue skies today. Tonight, once again, clear. Some areas will get some fog patches developing. Temperatures 11, 12, even 9 and 10 for Guelph and Kitchener tonight, so just a little bit cooler. And then tomorrow warms up to 25 degrees in a lot of areas, but staying at 24 for Hamilton, 28 for Brantford. So, as I said, just a little bit warmer, but again, blue skies and sunshine for the day tomorrow. So out the door this morning on the 16th morning of September, it is mainly clear, light winds, temperature 13. Long range in a few minutes, of course. Annette, Rick.
All right, thank you, Brian. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And Canadian Tire partnering with Tim Hortons. We'll have those details coming up in 2. Good morning to Emily Vukovic. What is happening in Chit Chat this morning?
Hi, good morning. Rapper Bad Bunny is finally taking us all to Puerto Rico. If we just close our eyes and imagine we could be there with the sand and the sun and the cocktails and the show. I'm not doing that.
He has really boosted tourism there.
Yes, absolutely.
Huge, huge. And we get to see why coming up. Ed Sheeran is already planning the rest of his music career. This is an interesting story. And later on this morning, we are taking a look at the newest production coming to Theater Aquarius.
All right, very exciting. Thanks, Emily. Looking at business news, we'll start with overseas trading this morning. The Canadian dollar is up 3 basis points to 72.62 cents U.S. Gold is up $12 an ounce, and crude is 25 cents lower, trading just over $63 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, markets are down across the board in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia, markets were up in Tokyo, down in Hong Kong, and up just a little bit in Shanghai. On North American markets, the TSX gained 147 points at close yesterday. The Dow was up by almost 50, and the Nasdaq added over 200 points.
Canadian Tire says it's partnering with Tim Hortons. The company says the partnership will launch sometime next year, under which customers who link their Triangle and Tim's reward accounts will earn Canadian Tire money on eligible restaurant purchases. Tim's is now the 4th company outside the Canadian Tire family of brands to join the Triangle Rewards ecosystem. The loyalty program already has incentives for customers at Petro-Canada gas stations and Royal Bank of Canada, with a WestJet partnership set to launch next year.
The federal jobs minister expects an investigation into allegations of unpaid work in Canada's airline sector to wrap up before the end of the year.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, an allegation of unpaid work where you have a Canada Labour Code that strictly prohibits that is a serious allegation. And what we need to understand is the nature of this unpaid work and what the best remedy is. We can't have people in this country performing work for free. People don't work for free in Canada.
Patty Haidu says there will be a stakeholder consultation this month and next. She expects the process to finish by early December. Her key question is whether there's a loophole that lets airlines avoid their obligations to compensate flight attendants fairly. An investigation was announced last month after an Air Canada strike led to hundreds of grounded flights.
Trump administration officials say an agreement has been reached with China to keep TikTok operational in the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a framework deal has been reached, and President Trump will meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Friday to finalize it. Bessent says the priority has been making sure the deal is fair for the Chinese and completely respects U.S. national security concerns. A bipartisan bill signed by former President Joe Biden last year banned TikTok in the U.S. and lets its China-based owner, ByteDance, divested its stake in the U.S. assets of the social media company. However, President Trump put enforcement of the ban on hold several times.
China has escalated its trade war with the United States. Chinese authorities say a preliminary investigation has found NVIDIA violated anti-monopoly laws. The tech giant, which is the most valuable company on the U.S. stock market, says it complies with the law. The announcement follows China's move to open an anti-dumping investigation into the U.S. semiconductor sector. Both China and the U.S. believe AI and the chips that power it are crucial for their national security.
We're going to take a quick break. Brian is going to be back with your traffic and 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
All right, coming up on 624 on this Tuesday, we're looking at some MTO traffic cameras. QEW, Glendale, St. Catharines, generally pretty light volume this morning, in the morning, and that's the way it is right now. A little busier here at the Red Hill Creek, Toronto bound towards us. Nothing at the 403 junction, heading toward Brant Street, coming out of Hamilton, all doing fine. East of Royal Windsor through Oakville, we'll dip into Mississauga. This is the 427 QEW Gardner combination. Yeah, it's pretty light this morning. Still the one situation on the eastbound 403, trying to get from Brantford to Ancaster, right around 52. We have a report of a collision there. All right, let's get to our temperature. Temperature this morning in Hamilton sitting at 13 degrees. Now, we're still over half an hour from sunrise, but actually the temperature is 13.2, which is the dew point, which means the air is completely saturated, so there's a bit of fog around. 13 Mississauga, 15 Grimsby, 16 for Toronto. Seasonals this time of year are 20 now and 10 for the overnight low. Sun times, sun doesn't come up till 7 o'clock now, but we will see that sunshine for the day today. It's going to be a lovely sunny day. Sun and 18 for the first bell for school, 24 for after school and sunshine, and 24 is the daytime high today. Humidex about 27, so a little warmer than yesterday, but lovely sunshine. 12 tonight. And get some fog developing, and then look at the sunshine stick around Wednesday, Thursday, 24 Wednesday, 27 on Thursday. Then we get a cold front, a weak cold front will go through. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperature 21, 18, and 23 for the weekend. What is that on Monday? Autumn? Fall? No! Fall already on Monday. Oh, yeah, and that's happy. So 219 on Monday afternoon. Fall arrives. We'll get a chance of a shower. That's your forecast. Annette, right?
I do love fall.
I'm only booing because it's the end of summer.
Yes, yeah. Well, British luxury automaker Aston Martin is going to launch with a high-end baby stroller in partnership with the childcare Brent, and we're talking really high-end here.
That's nicer than my car. The design resembles the seats of an Aston Martin car and comes in 3 colors, white, gray, and British racing green. Features include a sunproof canopy, adjustable headrest, multiple seating positions, and a 5-position handlebar. The stroller can hold children up to 55 pounds and will be available in the UK and select international markets later this year with a starting price of about $4,100 Canadian. I think it's worth the money given the architectural integrity of this device, but way out of my price range.
Yeah.
And I don't have babies anymore, thankfully.
It's not good for carrying cats around. So.
Oh, no, they're a little too pricey for cats. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. Can you imagine buying that for you?
And then Betty doesn't want it.